Florence 1504. The city does something insane. It hands the two greatest artists alive the same hall and tells them to paint battle scenes on opposite walls. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. The only time they ever went head to head. Neither one finished. Tonight, we finish it.
Finish it? You chose the wrong man to lecture on finishing, Leonardo. I gave Florence a David carved from one cracked block everyone else had abandoned. You gave her a bronze horse you never cast, and a Last Supper peeling off the wall before the paint was dry.
Ah, Michelangelo, still shouting, still covered in marble dust and resentment. I did not fail to finish, my friend. I refuse to stop seeing. There is a difference your chisel will never carve.
Pretty words from a man who spent 3 years painting one merchant's wife smiling. 3 years for a smirk. I painted the roof of God's own house in 4.
And every muscle on that roof you stole from corpses cut open by candlelight. As did I. The difference is that I opened the body to understand life. You opened it to glorify your own hand.
Let's go back to the start, because this didn't begin as a war of ideas. It began as something far more petty. It was personal.
Personal? You mocked me in the street, Leonardo, in front of everyone, called my figures sacks of walnuts, all bulging, all knotted. I was a young man. You were the famous one, and you chose cruelty.
I called them anatomically confused, and I stand by it. Strength is not the same as truth. Your men look as though they could lift a mountain and never once wonder why.
Better a man who could lift a mountain than a machine that never flies. How many of your flying contraptions ever left the ground, dreamer? Name one. One.
None. And I would trade your entire ceiling for the notebook where I drew the reason they did not. You built monuments, Michelangelo. I built questions. History needed both. But only one of us was 300 years early.
And there's the real fault line. Not marble against paint, the finisher against the wanderer. So which mind actually serves us more, the one that delivers or the one that reaches?
The one that delivers. Genius that never lands is just a beautiful excuse. I suffered on that scaffold 4 years. My spine bent, plaster falling in my eyes, because the work was owed. You quit the moment you grew bored.
I was never bored. I was pulled by anatomy, by rivers, by the turn of a single bird's wing. You call it quitting. I call it a mind too vast for one commission. You mastered the chisel. I was trying to master everything.
And mastered nothing all the way through. There is an arrogance in that, Leonardo, starting 1,000 things because you cannot bear to be judged on finishing one.
There it is, the truth beneath your anger. You believe I feared the judgment. No, my friend. I feared the finishing itself. The moment a thing is done, it can grow no further. You wanted to be finished. I only ever wanted to keep becoming.
1504, the Palazzo Vecchio. 2 walls, 2 battles. The rematch the whole world wanted to see and never did.
The Battle of Cascina, soldiers caught bathing in the river, twisting up out of the water to fight. Every one of them alive, straining, human, men, Leonardo, not machines. All of Florence gasped at my cartoon.
And I gave them the Battle of Anghiari. Men and horses knotted into one screaming coil of war. I called it the beastly madness. I did not want to celebrate the fight, Michelangelo. I wanted to show what it costs.
And then you experimented. Again. Some new wax technique, and the paint ran down the wall in the heat like the thing was weeping. The greatest commission of the age, and you melted it off the plaster.
I reached for something that did not yet exist, and it failed. You painted safely, and it survived. Tell me honestly, which of those two things art is actually for? Both walls are lost now. Only the legend remains. And the legend, my friend, remembers the reach.
500 years later, the verdict is in the hands of everyone who came after. So whose vision actually won?
Walk into the Sistine Chapel, today, now. Millions come, and they fall silent, and they look up. That is winning, not a theory of it. Marble and paint that still stops the human heart cold, half a millennium on.
And every surgeon who opens a body, every engineer who tests a wing, every child who asks, but how does it actually work? That is my chapel. You built the most beautiful room in the world. I built the way of seeing that would one day build the world itself.
You always did believe smaller men would inherit your scraps and call them prophecy.
And you always did mistake being loved for being right. Yet we are not so different, you and I. We both looked at flawed stone and flawed flesh, and we both refused to leave it the way we found it.
And maybe that's the whole thing. Two men who couldn't stand each other because they were climbing the exact same impossible mountain from two different faces of the rock.
He finished nothing, and I would still give a year of my life to have held that notebook in my hands.
And I never carved a David, but I have stood before yours in the empty quiet before the crowds, and I have wept.
Here's what I keep circling back to. We ask who was the greater genius, like it's a scoreboard. But genius was never the finishing, and it was never the reaching. It was the refusal to accept the world as it was handed to you. One did it in stone, one did it in questions. Both did it afraid and did it anyway. So the real question isn't which of them won. It's simpler than that, and it's pointed straight at you. What's the flawed block sitting in front of you right now? And are you carving it or just walking past it? I'm Caleb. Keep reaching.